Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is So Much Sewing. This is the second time I've filmed this video today. I filmed the video and looked back at it and realised I had lipstick all over my teeth. You know, I'm sure nobody would have minded that much. Actually, no, I'm probably sure everybody would have minded because nobody likes to look at somebody with lipstick all over their teeth. So here I am refilming this video. It's all part and parcel of making a YouTube video channel. So it's been 2 years since I made my first YouTube video. I can't believe it, 2 years, and I can't tell you what the exact date is. I can't figure that out. I don't seem to be able to see it on that first video, a date, but I don't know, maybe someone out there knows how to do that. But yeah, I do know it's been 2 years. Over 2 years. It's probably 2 years, about 3 months ago, I think. And in reality, I did have 3 months off when we moved from Auckland to Christchurch, when we were getting the house ready for sale, putting it on the market, blah, 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 actually moving. So I did have 3 months, but hey, 2 years on YouTube, roundabout, I think that is amazing. So I thought I would do this video and answer 4 questions that I came up with that, you know, maybe you're interested in. If you have your own questions, please do put them below and I will answer them for you. I'm happy to do so. These are just 4 questions that I thought, you know, a few people might be interested in knowing the answer to. And those questions are, why did I start my channel in the first place? What has changed for me over the last 2 years in regard to sewing and YouTube, etc.? How much do I earn? That's always a question I'm sure everybody's interested in. And will I continue making YouTube videos? So the first question, why did I start making YouTube videos? And anyone who has watched me from the start will know that I lost a lot of weight. And I had no clothes in my wardrobe. I literally had nothing that fit me. I've been sewing since home economics class when I was about 11 years old. So that is, how long ago is that? That is 47 years ago. I'm turning 58 in January. So it was a long time ago. I've been sewing off and on. At times I've been obsessed with it. At times I haven't done any for a number of years. But just before the old COVID lockdown, I had got back into sewing. I had bought a brand new sewing machine and I had never had such a fancy machine before. And I love, love, love my machine. It's a Brother NVQ 1800 and I adore it. And so I had started sewing again before lockdown. And I had booked in weight loss surgery before COVID. And I was lucky enough to be able to get my surgery during one of our times when we were not locked down. I'm sure everywhere around the world went into lockdown, came out of lockdown, went into lockdown, came out of lockdown. And so during one of those periods where we were not in lockdown, I was so lucky to get my surgery because, as we know, lots of other people, surgeries and life in general was put on hold. So I had weight loss surgery and I did lose 45 kilos, which is about 100 pounds or about 7.5 stone. So that meant, and I did that over the course of a year. And so obviously that just meant that my clothes were not fitting me. Luckily, we were in lockdown for a lot of that time. So it didn't matter so much that my clothes were literally just hanging off me because I was at home for a lot of that time. But obviously I needed to make clothes. I couldn't walk around naked. And during the COVID lockdown, I started looking at YouTube videos and I started watching, you know, lots of YouTube channels. And I thought to myself, if these ladies can do it, I can do it. And I've got a point of difference because, you know, I'm sewing because I've lost heaps of weight and I need to rebuild a wardrobe from scratch. as it turns out, in hindsight, I realized that I hadn't really talked a lot about that aspect of it on my channel, because not everybody's interested in the fact that I've lost weight. That's my own personal story. So I not focused an awful lot on it. But the original premise in my head was that I would talk about how the weight loss has affected what clothes I make, what styles I make, and what I needed to make first, because I needed absolutely everything. I needed to figure out a way of deciding what was the priority, what I needed to make first. So as I say, I didn't end up talking a whole lot about that stuff in the end. So yeah, I just thought, if other people can do it, I can do it. And it is a bit surprising to me, because I am an introvert. I am shy. I am not a gregarious person at all. In a group of people, unless I know them well, I'm normally very quiet, don't say boo. I've never thought that I was interesting, or that anybody would be interested in anything that I had to say. So for me to actually get on and film a video and post it online was a huge step for me, but somehow it just happened. Somehow I thought, oh yeah, I can do that, and I've done it, and I've really enjoyed it since. So I don't know the ins and outs or the psychological reasons behind that, but it's been really good for me, I have to say. It's been great for my confidence, and I'm very, very happy that I did start my channel. And I've just checked my teeth again just to make sure that I don't have lipstick on them again, because I don't want to film this video again. The second question, so what has changed during the 2 years regarding my sewing, YouTube channel, etc.? And I suppose what has changed is mostly the style of clothing that I've been making. I've never been mainstream. As a teenager, I was sort of at the very end of the whole punk thing. Well, I really it was about 1982 or something. I was sort of going through a punk phase, which was, late. Punk was probably over by then, but I was punk. I was doing it. And then I sort of, have morphed into, I was going to say into different styles, but I mean, everybody's got a style journey, don't they? But I've always been a bit more sort of alternative, bit more into sort of wearing black, more alternative styles. I've had my hair all sorts of different colors and styles. That's just where I have felt most comfortable. But when I started my YouTube channel, I felt like I needed to be more like everybody else I was watching. And at the time, and I still do, watch a lot of the English YouTube videos. And I think it's fair to say that none of those ladies are alternative. They're all quite sort of mainstream. And I felt like I needed to fit in with them. And I also didn't realize the breadth of variety that was available in sewing patterns these days, because I grew up with the big four. That was all I knew. All I knew was the big four patterns, and I didn't know about indie designers. I genuinely didn't. And so I was really, really fascinated to hear all about them on YouTube and learn all about indie designers. And I did eventually sort of realize that there are, a bit more sort of alternative or funky designs out there. But at the time, like I say, I was watching a particular group of YouTubers who were all very mainstream ladies, lovely and stylish and, all that sort of great stuff. And so I felt like I needed to be like them. And B, I sort of thought that was all that was out there, the sewing patterns. So I did find myself making patterns out of fabrics that didn't really fit with my personal style. I mean, it was great that I now had clothes that somewhat fitted me, that I could go out in public in and not look like I was dressed in an old sugar sack. So that was great. But there's there's a fantail. I'm looking out into there's a garden behind me, but I'm looking out here onto our patio, and there was a fantail just flying around trying to get in the house. Anyway, I digress, clearly. So yeah, really happy to have clothes that fit me. But yeah, the style aesthetic wasn't really 100% my own. So eventually I realized that I could and in fact should be a lot more true to my own personal style. So that's what I've been doing. You may not notice much of a difference, but I feel a lot better about the things that I've been making recently. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. It's a real struggle for me not to wear black and to make black a lot, because black has always been my go-to and I love black. But I also love color. Color looks nice on me. Obviously some colors, we all know about color season analysis and what have you. Even though I do think about that, it's not the sort of driving factor. It's all about, you know, whether you love a color and you love wearing a color, how it makes you feel. And so that's why I've always loved black. Black just makes me feel like myself. It makes me feel grounded, comfortable. I don't know. But so I try very, very hard not to make too much or wear too much. But yeah, the biggest thing that's changed really is that I'm more true to myself in the clothing that I'm wearing and the things that I'm talking about. So I did kind of lose my thread where I was going with all that, because of that dang fantail bashing around outside my window. But yeah, so I guess in a nutshell, when I started, I was a little less me. And look, to be fair, I was probably rediscovering me again. I was a whole new me. I was 45 kilos lighter. I was a completely different me. So I guess I needed to go through that process anyway of, looking at different styles and what have you. So yeah. The third question I have that I thought you might be interested in is, how much do I earn? And I just want to preface that by saying this has never been a place where I thought I would, have a YouTube channel so I could earn lots of money, which is just as well, because that doesn't happen. This is my hobby. As I said, this was my sort of outlet for making my own clothes, making my own wardrobe from scratch. And so it's always been a hobby for me. It's not a way to make money. And let me tell you, unless you are a large channel, you're probably not making a lot of money at all. There are some channels out there who this is their source of income. And I mean, remember that sewing is a very niche sort of market, isn't it? It's a dying art. We know it's a dying art. It's probably having a bit of a resurgence lately, but people don't sew anymore. And so the market is very, very small. And I think the channels that I know of that this is their income, they work hard. They work very, very hard, and I have no idea what their income is, none of my business, but they work very, very hard for their money. And I'm sure they're not making millions of bucks because it's such a niche market. I think most people who have a sewing channel on YouTube, there are some people who probably break even, I would imagine, but I don't know that there's lots of people making lots of money. I certainly do not. About every 3 months, I receive about $130 New Zealand, less tax, less American tax, because that's where the money is earned. So it's 130 New Zealand dollars is the limit. You have to earn 130 New Zealand dollars before they will pay out. I'll put on the screen down here, as of today, what that equals in pounds and in American dollars and euros maybe, just so that you have a bit of an idea. So obviously that doesn't even cover expenses, let alone, give me a profit. Earlier on in my YouTube videos, I had to buy a new computer because the computer I was using, the video graphics card, pooped itself, and it just, I wasn't able to do any editing on my laptop, so I bought a new computer. And so obviously, I don't even know if I've made that money back in 2 years. Maybe just I've made that back, I'm not sure. Also fabrics, I did buy a lot of my fabrics in lockdown, either before I started my channel and sort of during the earlier days. So I've got a lot of fabric in my stash that I'm trying to work my way through, and I'm trying to not buy a lot of fabrics or a lot of patterns, because I've got a lot of patterns as well. So that sort of outlay is not huge, but when you think that a pattern in New Zealand dollars, an indie pattern in New Zealand dollars is could be around 30 New Zealand dollars, and then you've got to get it printed off, so that's $7 a page, and if there's 3 pages, so that's $21 there. A spool of thread is about $5 to $6 in New Zealand. So, you can see that $130 less tax every 3 months is not a profit. It's not me making money. It's not me even covering costs. So if you are interested, that's what I earn as a very small channel on YouTube in a very small niche market. Last question I had was, will I continue to make YouTube videos? And the short answer is yes. There is a long answer, of course, as there always is in life. But yes, I will continue to make YouTube videos. I really, really enjoy, it's a hobby. It's all, for me, it's now become part and parcel of the whole sewing hobby. I just absolutely adore it. And I probably said earlier that I was amazed that I ever would have put myself out there on a video in the first place. But it's just so interesting to me. I could be having a flat day, a low day, a tired day, but I sit down in front of my camera to start filming and I just come alive. I start smiling, I start laughing, I feel more engaged. It makes me feel alive. I don't understand it, but I really do love the whole process. I have absolutely loved the relationships I have built up with my viewers. Obviously, I'm never going to meet 99.99999% of you, but we chat in the comments. And having said that, please feel free to find me over on Instagram for chats. I don't post there very often at all. I should get back into posting on Instagram because it will help grow my channel. But I'm really not a social media person. I kind of quite dislike it. This whole influencer thing, I don't like either. I would never consider myself an influencer. And I think actually probably I should have talked about this bit in my What's Changed section of this video. But yeah, the whole influencer thing, I did used to think that I might quite like to be not an influencer as such, but make more money out of YouTube. But to do that, I feel that doesn't fit with my own personal values in life. I did notice that for a long time there, I was being influenced by the sewing community, by the sewing YouTube ladies. I was buying patterns that weren't really me because everyone else was doing them, or because they were new. I had to buy them. They were new. They were on sale, on new to the market sale, so I had to buy them. And buy fabrics. I had to buy new fabrics because people were showing them, or because they were on sale, or whatever. So it really does promote consumerism, which I don't feel confident with. So please, I'm sure nobody does, but please don't think of me as an influencer, because all I'm doing is making stuff and showing you my stuff. You know, I don't want to influence anybody into spending money that they don't have, or buying patterns that they don't need, or that won't even suit them. The number of patterns I've bought that were a complete disaster just because I saw other people talking about them. But that's my issue, isn't it? That's my responsibility, not theirs. I understand that. But yeah, I was talking about social media and saying that I'm not really comfortable with social media and Instagram. But if you would like to come and find me on Instagram, I am there. We can have a chat. That's where I was going with that train of thought. I have at times wondered if I would keep going with my YouTube channel, because sometimes it does feel like a little bit of a grind. You know, I might not feel particularly interesting, or that I've made something particularly interesting. I might not feel like making a video. And also it's the whole what's the point question. When I started my channel, it took me about a year, well, less than a year, to get to 1,000 subscribers, which was amazing. And then in the following more than a year, I've picked up about an extra 500 or 600 subscribers, you know, which obviously is half my first year. So that makes me think, you know, why bother? I mean, it's not about making money or becoming a great influencer. But, you know, life's all about growth, isn't it? It's all about organic growth and, you know, changing and adapting. And so, you know, part of me feels like if I've only grown by 50% of what I grew the year before, then is it worthwhile? Am I doing the right things? And I don't want to make this into a channel about making money. There are some amazing sewing YouTube channels out there who do make money. It is their job and they do make money. They have to make money. It's their income. I've got a full-time job. That's my income. But I know that they work really, really hard at putting out videos, and their content is amazing. They technically are very amazing sewists, and they put a lot of hard work into their channels, into growing their channels, into earning an income, and that is completely reasonable. So I'm not talking about me wanting to do that, but like I say, it's organic growth. You want to grow. You want to think that people are interested in what you're doing and saying. And so sometimes the old analytics on the YouTube creators website, it does make me think, you know, am I current? Am I interesting? It's important to me what my viewers think, and it's important to me to grow, not to stay static. I mean, look at me. I went on YouTube in the first place, which is amazing to me. You know, that's personal growth. So do you understand what I'm saying? Anyway, at the end of the day, I will keep going with YouTube videos for the foreseeable future. I really enjoy it. I would like to see some more growth in my channel. So I know that there are a lot of people who come and watch me each week, which is amazing. Thank you. Please don't stop that. But if you haven't subscribed and you do come back and watch me, please subscribe. It will help my channel. It will help me understand that, there's a place for me here, and that I, am perfectly valid in continuing my channel. So yes, please subscribe if you haven't already, and like and comment and do all that stuff. And I would like to see a little bit of growth in my channel. I can't lie. But the absolute honest truth is I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole of doing the usual just so that I can grow my channel, if that makes sense. I want to stay true to me. I want people to be interested in me for my skills, which are not huge. They're just home sewing skills. But I want people to be interested in me for myself, for my sake, for the things that I do. So hopefully that video was interesting to you. Thank you for watching it to the very end, if that is what you have done. And I hope you will like and subscribe and comment if you haven't done all those things yet. And I will come back to you next week with another video, and I look forward to reading all your comments and having chats with you in the meantime. I hope you have an amazing week and that you're all happy and well and getting loads and loads of sewing done. I'll see you next week. Bye.